Myself, Professor T.M. Divakar, working as Assistant Professor in ENTC Department in Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Hedra, Ichaganji. So today we are going to study about the unemployment. So what exactly the unemployment? So unemployment means a situation in which people are living to work at the existing rate of wage, but they do not have any job. That is called as unemployment. So a man is unemployed only when he is both without a job or not employed and also desires to be the employed. The next one is showing the graph of unemployment. So every year, so this is the graph showing the unemployment every year, and it is showing day by day it is improving. See, during 1995 to 2003, the unemployment is stable or it is linearly improving, but during 2005 it comes down. Again in 2010 it is improved, it is improving. So this graph is not linearly flowing, it is non-linear, and every year we cannot say that it is in particular range. So there are some types of employments, the types of unemployments. So these are fractional, structural, cyclical, involuntary and voluntary. So the types of employment in India, there are two types of employments. One is rural, second one is urban. In rural, again there are two parts. One is seasonal unemployment and this guides unemployments. And in urban, there are also two types. One is industrial unemployments and educational unemployment. So according to a report, so almost 2 million graduates and half million postgraduates are unemployed in India, and around 47% graduates in India are not suitable for any kind of industry role. So above all, that is the category of unemployment in rural as well as in urban, the level of educated unemployments in India increases with higher educations, while at a primary level the youth unemployment is somewhere around 3.6%. It is 8% at graduate level and 9.3% at postgraduate level. And it causes some parameters, that is the rapid population growth because of unemployment. Second one is a slow rate of economic growth. Next, third one is the low educational standards. Fourth one is the lack of right skills, and fifth one is the changing technologies. So these are the causes because of the unemployment. Let us see one by one. So rapid populations growth. So as we are seeing that every year India sees 8 to 9% increase in enrollment at the higher education level, but there is no equivalent rise in the number of opportunities, and the supply of graduates is more than the demand from the industry. Next one is a slow rate of economic growth, that is a low rate of economic growth, it can cause higher unemployment. That is definitely true. If there is a negative economic growth, that is if there is a recession, we would definitely expect unemployment to rise. This is because if there is a less demand for goods, firms, so they will provide or they will produce the less, and so will need the fewer workers. So in a recession, some firms will go bankrupt, and which making many people redundant. The meaning of redundant means it is unused, and the firms will be reluctant to hire workers when there is a uncertainty and negative growth. So these are the causes because of the slow rate of economic growth. Next one is a low education standards. What exactly the low education standards means? The teaching methodology is extremely flavored, and the number of engineering institutes in India, it stood at 337 in 1990s, and in 2017 it starts at 6427. So this rate of flow showing the low education standards, and the students are not trained to meet the needs of economy and understand the subject to the core, but rather to cram up the syllabus and they get the right grades. So, the government colleges are completely lagging behind when compared to the private institutes. Next one, the lack of right skills. You know, if you want to survive or if you want to get a job in industry as well as in a professional, we need the better or good skills. So in India there is a no right skills we are giving to the students, and that's why there is an increase of unemployments in India. So it equips with the necessary skill sets and focus on competency. So at present the country is experiencing a massive skill gaps where 65 to 75% of the 15 million youngsters they are entering the workforce every year are either found unemployables or are still not ready to or not ready for the jobs. So today's youth there is a lack of the appropriate skills. So we need to focus on the basic skills like communications, languages, etc. The next point is changing technology. Day by day the technology is going to change, and our students or our youngsters are not adapting the new technologies. They are fixed to the particular technology, they are not going to adopt or they are not going to learn the new technologies as which is changing the day by day. So it is a part of the structural unemployments. So technology developments causes some workers to lose their jobs permanently, and technological innovations they merely changes the types of jobs and that can occur in the economy. So the citizens need to be updated with the changing technologies. That is very important. The next point is possible solutions. This is the possible solutions I am talking to solve the unemployment issues. So number one, control the rising populations. Second one is the quality of Indian education should be improved. Third one is agriculture based industries in rural areas. Fourth one is development of rural areas. Next one is high rate of capital formations. So the government schemes to control the previous, that is the solutions to solve the unemployments. Number one is industry and trade, commerce, defenses, agriculture and farmer welfares, rural sectors, So these are the schemes which is developed by governments to control the unemployment, digital economy, educations, skill and job creations, infrastructures, infrastructure in rural developments, healthcare in rural development, financial sectors, governance and ease of doing business, prudent facilities management, tax reforms, railways. These are the steps taken by government to control the unemployment. The steps taken by government to increase the employment. Number one, Sampurna Gramin Rozgar Yojana, SGRY, means it was launched on 25th September 2001 by merging the ongoing schemes of EAS, that is the Employment Assurance Scheme, and JGSY, that is the Jawahar Gram Samriddhi Yojana, to improve the employments. And the objective was to providing the additional wage employments and food security, alongside the creation of durable community assets in the rural areas. So the minimum wages paid to the workers through a mix of minimum 5 kg of food grains and at least 25% of wages in cash. So this scheme has been merged with NREGA since February 2006, and these are some photos or snapshots showing the Sampurna Gramin Rozgar Yojana, where the workers are working. Next one, the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Acts, that is, it was passed in 2005. Means NREGA seeks to provide 100 days of guaranteed wage employment to the rural households, and it makes the special provisions for women and for the distance within which the job must be available to the job seekers for the convenience. So these are the photos here. The Mahatma Gandhi Rashtriya Gramin Rozgar Guarantees Adhiniyam, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Acts, and Right to Works, that is the 100 days employments. The next one is Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, and it is being implemented since April 1999. In this case, the rural peoples are provided with the skill development training and helping them to get credit leakage with the financial institutions, and they are also provided infrastructures and marketing support for the products produced by them. See, in this photo in Thanjavur, the power laundry, the rural women's provided the skill development training. So here the gradings and fund provided according to the grading. The first grading, in that 50,000 rupees with 10,000 rupees subsidiary. Second one is 10 lakh. Third one is 1 lakh. Sorry, second one is 1 lakh. Third one is 1.5 lakh. These are the fund provides according to the grading. Next one is the National Skill Development Corporations, NSDC, and everyone knows it, National Skill Development Corporations. So in this case, the National Skill Development Corporation is a not for profit public limited company incorporated on 31st July 2008. The pillars of NSDC: number 1, create; second one is the fund; third one is the enable. In creates, proactively catalyze the creation of large quality vocational training institutes. In second one, reduce the risk by providing patient capital including grants and equity. Third one is in the enable, the creation and sustainability of support systems required for skill development. This includes the industry led sector skill counseling. The next one is the National Skill Development Corporation operates through the partnerships with the multiple stakeholders in catalyzing and evolving the skilling ecosystem. Number 1, the private sector; second one is the international engagements; third one is the central ministries; and fourth one is the state governments. So over 2.5, sorry, it is not visible here. So second point, through 235 private sectors giving for training and capacity building, and each to train at least 50,000 persons over a 10-year periods. Third one is a 38 sector skills counselings which approves in services, manufacturing, agricultural and allied services, and informal sectors. Sectors includes 19 of 20 high priority sectors identified by the government and 25 of the sectors under Make in India initiatives. 1386 qualification packs with 6744 unique national occupational standards. So these have been validated by over 1000 companies. Next, occasional training introduced in 10 states covering 2400 plus schools, 2 boards benefiting over 2.5 lakh students. curriculum based on national occupational standards and SSC certifications. So NSDC is working with 21 universities, community colleges under UGC or AICTE for alignments. Next one is Pradhan Mantri Kaushalya Vikas Yojana, that is PMKVY, is a flagship scheme for the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, implemented by National Skill Development Corporations. So in our institute also we run the course of assistant electricians of almost 400 hours, and it has educational criteria as only 10th class pass under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushalya Vikas Yojana. Next one is the Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana. So this scheme was launched on the auspicious day of 2nd October 1993, the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi all over the country, to provide the easy subsidiaries financial assistance to educated unemployed youth for starting their own enterprises or business. The implementation of the scheme see, the minimum educational qualifications is at standard pass. Next one is finally family income maximum 40,000 per month. Beneficiary, that is spouse and parents. Subsidy 50% of the project cost, maximum of 7,500. Next, collateral, that is not required up to the 1 lakh. Residence, permanent residence for 3 years at the same locations, and age criteria minimum 18 years and maximum 35 years. That is the Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana. These are the some conditions or criteria to achieve these or to applicable for the Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana. Next one, other programs by the governments are National Food for the Work program. Next one is the setting up the special economic zones. Next one, developing irrigations facilities. Next one, the employment opportunities for the women's. Next one, the development of information technology sectors. Next, modernization of employment exchanges. Next, skill development initiatives schemes. Thank you.